All right, good morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the NuSpecian Live Q&A. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Aston. Good morning, morning.
For those of you who are new here, I already see a bunch of folks in the chat. For those of you who are new, NuSpecies is a natural health company. We invent and manufacture our own line of high potency plant-based supplements and herbal medicine. All of our formulas were designed by Aston, and he designed them to help your body be resilient against the toughest of health challenges. But each of us is on our own unique health journey, because what a good health choice for you may not be for somebody else. And that's why we host this Q&A every Saturday at 10 a.m. so that you can get the answers to your questions that will help you live better and longer, which is NuSpecies' mission. So thank you for being with us here today. We're keeping our eye over on Instagram, and you feel free to start posting any questions or comments that you have. And we've got Facebook and YouTube right here also in front of us. So thank you. Good morning, Grace. Hi, Diana. Good morning, NRE. Hi, Darnat. Hi, Headley. Pleasant morning to everyone. And yes, I agree. I think it's a nice snow to wake up to. Not too bad on the drive. Not dangerous, but beautiful to look at. So be appreciative. How was the drive down to Bronxville, Aston? Okay?
It was okay. It was a little bit out of the norm. A little snow on the roads, but it was fine.
All right, great. So Aston is in Bronxville today, and we'll be there until 6. So we had a little topic. I don't know if you saw the email that I sent this morning. Hi, Maurice. Hi, June. Hi, Jillian or Jillian or Jillian. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. Hi, June. Yes, great. Good morning, everybody. So in the email, if you saw that I sent, we plugged a little topic that has been on our minds this week. Aston and I have been talking about it, and we've been thinking a lot about our families and how we could try to get them to be as enthusiastic as all of you about their health and let us be helpful to them. And, the theme we keep coming back to is when someone thinks they're perfectly healthy, it's actually easy for people to justify not spending money on their health, even when they are sick, right, Aston? But especially if you think you're healthy, you're not going to want to spend any money on your health. And we're not even trying to sell our products to our family members. We're just trying to get them to understand what is impacting their health and what to look out for and not to wait to the last minute. And we tip it. Oh, Jalene. Okay. Beautiful. Hi, Jalene. Right. So Aston, what is the sentence you always dread to hear?
Well,
It
contextually,
starts with my labs. It starts with my labs.
Even regarding the labs, there are few. But it is.
The labs are perfect.
It is very disheartening for a lot of people when they sit down with us and they think their labs are fine. Their doctors probably didn't tell them that their labs are fine, but I think they misunderstand what their doctors are saying. So, folks, let me frame it this way. When we get sick, humans, and we go to the doctor is, when they communicate with you, they communicate with you in the sense that if, let's say you have high blood pressure, they give you some medication. Let's say the pressure was 200 over 100. Heart attack, stroke, kidney damage, all of those come into play. Heart damage, they all come into play. The doctor gives you 1 or 2 or 3 medication, usually 3 in some cases if it's that bad, to bring it down quickly. And your blood pressure comes down to 160 over 85, let's say. You know what the doctor is thinking? The doctor is very, very happy, because even though you could still get a stroke or a heart attack, it's not as imminent. Even though you can still get kidney damage, heart damage, neuropathy, eye damage, brain damage from the blood pressure, 150 over 85, the doctor is still happy because your life doesn't seem to be in immediate danger. So the doctor says, you look good. Things are good. And you walk away thinking that the doctor means that you're perfect, that your blood pressure is completely normal or under control all the time. That's not the case. That is never the case. If you're still on the medication, you have high blood pressure. If the doctor keeps you on the medication, you're still sick.
And actually, a lot of times what they're not saying is, you look great for your age. They don't actually expect you to be healthier at that age. So they're not shooting for healthy. They don't necessarily have the same goal you may have. So when they say everything's great and you hear that, you're applying that to the way you're thinking about your health. They're applying it to the way they're thinking about your health. That's a very common disconnect.
Very. And if you look at your labs and you see your WBC is low, or if your hemoglobin is high or low, let's say low in this case, but not horrifyingly low, the doctor said, will say to you, you look good. Things look good. The doctor didn't say you're perfect. The doctor didn't say your labs are perfect. I'm sure they never say that when you have all these abnormalities in there. So the shock for people is that when a year goes by, 2 years, 3 years, and now they're in kidney failure territory. Now they're doing all these different medical exams on their heart because they're developing heart issue because of the underlying issues they have and neuropathy. And now people are just very upset and very angry when they come to us. Not with us. They're angry that they didn't expect this to happen. Kidney failure, heart damage or heart failure or neuropathy, eye damage, brain damage. They're just disheartened when they come to us. So the message that we want to convey to you is that if you have a health issue and it's not completely gone, and it's not completely gone, you're still sick. And if the doctor keeps you on medication, it's because he still considers you sick. He's not maintaining you on medication. You're on the medication, whether it's 5, 10, 20 milligrams, because you're sick. And you all need to recognize that. And in my family, what family members would say, my blood pressure is under control. But you're taking 3 medication. Oh, my Lord. And the medication have side effects. And that's how a lot of people, when they start to get really sick, and now people, you have these issues, you get a little bit older, a year or 2 or 3, you get a little older, and you're getting more issues because of the medication or because of the underlying condition, blood pressure, diabetes, whatever you have. And that's where I see people start to hate doctors. And it's not fair. It's not fair to the doctors. The doctors don't have anything else to give you. So when your pressure goes back up, as it will, when the medications stop working, as they will, and you go back to the doctor, it's trial and error now, folks. You're now in what Jillian called medical prison. You're fully sentenced, probably to life in medical prison, because there is now no other medication the doctors can give you other than to experiment. They're going to try one, they're going to try another, they're going to try. And that's when you come to us when your bodies are devastated, your organs are damaged. And in quite honestly, in a lot of cases, people are dying when they come to us with these worsening conditions. Their bodies are actually dying, and there's nothing the doctors can do. And unfortunately, when you come to us, you're looking for a miracle. We do not work miracles. We cannot work miracles.
The other thing to keep in mind is that when you're seeing your doctor, the medical industry and doctors' roles within your healthcare, which they may or may not like, is that they're treating you in this moment, and they're taking your health a moment at a time. So I'm seeing you now. I prescribe this medication. You report that your blood pressure has normalized. Great. So now we're just waiting for the next moment when you come in and it's no longer working. Okay. In that time the doctor has with you, they're not giving you the long-term plan, right? They're not saying to you, okay, I'm going to put you on this medication now. Eventually it's going to stop working. You still have high blood pressure, even though the medication is forcing it down. So therefore damage is still occurring to your body on a daily basis. Also, the medication you're taking is going to be damaging your body on a daily basis. So you don't want to rely on this medication long-term. You need to be taking care of yourself in all these other ways, whether it's sleep or stress management or eating more vegetables or exercise or whatever it is, to help your body fix itself so that you don't end up in medical prison in the future. Doctors are not going to have that conversation with you. That is really not their role in your care, even though it's what you expect from them, which is where NuSpecies comes in and why we host this Q&A, because we want you to have this information in advance so that we have a better chance at helping you when you come to us, because hopefully it's not once you're really far down that road and having developed severe side effects to the medication, severe damage because of the initial, issue. And we have success in helping people like that, but it costs them a lot more money. The commitment is much bigger. It's just easier on everyone, all parties, if we can warn you now and you can come to us now. Okay, Derek has a question. Good morning. I'm Derek, and you're looking on my lab results. And this is the second time that you are making that. All right, Derek, help me out here. It looks like we got some typos. I know a lot of you are on your cell phones, and it can be hard to get your message out fast enough. But we've got time. Don't worry. Try to clarify what you're saying. He in the end says, it looks like I'm losing blood somewhere. Or maybe you told Derek that, and he said, can you please explain? I don't know if you can extrapolate enough from
that. No, I'm looking at his labs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually sent in January labs.
Okay. This is Derek Davis.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's okay. He's a super client.
Yes.
So, Davis, do you want me to discuss your labs openly here, or you want us to talk one day next week or so?
All right, we'll give a minute for Derek to reply. Derek, let us know. We don't want to move forward if you...
I see where the problem could be based on your lab. So let's wait to hear from Derek.
Okay.
But back to our discussion, the folks, the doctors, they can only help you so far. And the medication is mercy to alleviate your suffering, to try to prevent any clear and present danger to your life. And when the medication stops working, if it does work, there isn't much more the doctors can do. And doctors don't live longer than anybody else. They don't have some magic medication. Like when, I was a kid, I would hear that the government has the cure for cancer, and the government is not releasing it. And I see all these presidents and people who are dying of whatever cancer and whatever issues. They don't have a cure for cancer. There's no cure for diabetes. There's no cure for blood pressure. There's none. When I worked at a pharmaceutical company years ago, actually, I didn't work there. I supported legally when I was on Wall Street. I was one of their lawyers who worked with the FDA to protect them against claims for drugs, new drugs that they make. I used to work with the chemists, the people who make drugs, because they got to tell me what's in the drugs so I can protect them legally. And they who make drugs, they die like anybody else. They don't live longer than anybody else. They don't have some magic that they have in their basement or their closet. They don't have anything to cure themselves when they have blood pressure or diabetes or cancer. And that's one of the things I learned when my father died. of prostate cancer. He was early stage diagnosed. He was told to do surgery. You probably heard this story 1,000 times. I'm going to tell it to you again because I have to keep repeating it. Early stage diagnosed with cancer. He was told to do surgery by one of the best doctors in the Caribbean. He went to Oxford University. You can Google it. It's not many of them in the Caribbean that went to Oxford University who are urologists. And he was supposed to just do surgery, do a precautionary radiation, and he would have lived his long, full life. Well, a few years later, he was dead. The cancer just spread through his body, and he died. You know, he had cancer in maybe 5 or 6 different organs. So there's no magic out there. And even when you have an early stage issue, it doesn't mean that it's going to go away. And that's why you have to take care of yourselves. You have to change your diet, change your lifestyles. You have to take care of yourself. You can't rely on the medical system. And now the population over the last decade or two has grown by 2 billion more people. More than 2 billion people. So, and more people are getting sick. More young people are getting sick. So the medical system is flooded with sick people, and there aren't enough doctors. So when the doctor tell you when you have cancer or some chronic issue that you have to wait 2 months or 6 months, it's because that's what they have available. They're booked. And you become an assembly line. They don't have time to focus on you. They're probably using AI to determine what drugs to give you, what chemo to give you, what medication to give you. And AI is vastly inaccurate. Vastly inaccurate. What you put into AI is what you get out. So if you didn't have some smart people who account for all the angles and everything, then you're in trouble. And it's not the doctor's fault. It's not the medical system's fault. It's just that humans are not as smart as you think they are. I said it. No, you can sue me. We're not as smart as we think we are. The doctors are not as smart as you think they are. They're regular, normal people like anybody else. They went to school and they study medicine and get a degree, and they go to work for a living. They have to pay mortgages. They have children in school. They're just like you. They just work in a different department of life, just like you. All right, I've said enough.
No, I think we probably can't harp on that enough. One of the things that I always say is, like, if you just think of like a line graph in front of my face right now, I always think of, NuSpecies is a continuous line. Or if you think of NuSpecies as just representing anything nutritional that you do to support your body, or anything you do to promote a natural lifestyle, that's what you should always be doing. And then the medical industry is down here. Every now and then it pops up in your life. You might need some medical intervention at times. But the way most of us are living is we completely just forget about taking care of ourselves. And we just live on the dependency on the medical industry. And even doctors who have the best intentions and the smartest, most genius, whatever doctors in the world, there are too many sick people, and especially in the US with a very difficult, potentially, or people claim to be a broken healthcare system. Depending on that is not a good plan. Not a good plan.
Yeah, so things are rough out there, people. Things are rough in the medical. I was talking to, my mother-in-law the other day, and she was saying she's frustrated with the doctors. She's frustrated. It's like, and she's a white woman. She's a white person who's fed up. Imagine people like us who are not white. We're probably 5-10 times even more fed up with the medical system. So it is getting worse in that you are not getting the adequate attention that you need. And that's why more and more you that are talking to me, that's why your consultation are so much longer now. That's why we have to reach out to you every 2 weeks, once a month, to make sure you're fine. because the one conversation with me or consultation is not going to solve, it's not going to give you the information you need to take care of yourself. The medical system, I have people with cancer, and they're telling me that when they sit with their oncologists or their doctors, they're lucky if they get 10 minutes. And when the doctors finish speaking, they're leaving. They're not hanging around to answer questions. How is that even real? You have cancer, you're dying, or whatever other issues you have. And the doctors are not spending enough time with you. The reason is because one of the main reasons is because the doctors are being paid an office visit between $25 and maybe $50, $65. They're not being paid to sit with you and go through your labs in detail, go through your images in detail, explain the implication. They're not. So if they don't see 50 or 100 or 200 people in one day, their days are useless in terms monetarily. They can't pay their bills. That's the reality.
Yeah.
So
it was expensive to become a doctor, and it's expensive to be a doctor with all the overhead and insurance and everything else. I mean, they've got to live too. And they work really, really hard. When the few times I've had to interact with the medical system, I just look at my doctor and feel terrible because I can just see that they are just flying and through a day working in these like dingy offices, and it is not a good life.
So there's a solution to the gloom and doom. We're here, NuSpecies, and we will help to guide you as much as we can. Be patient with us. I know that there are hundreds of you out there waiting for me to call you because you're waiting for a call from me. Literally hundreds. Be patient. I will get to you, and you will get better. You will start feeling better when we work with you to give you your NuSpecies and change your diet and lifestyle. You're going to be fine, and you all know that you're going to be fine. You know that there's no magic and miracle. And yes, we're stressed thin over here, but we're going to get to you. And I know that some of you are frightened. We're going to get to you. So just be patient. And if I make a recommendation for you and you need to talk to me, stay on the recommendation I made for whatever I recommend that you should do. Take NuSpecies, change your diet, change your lifestyle, change the foods you're eating, whatever it is. Keep doing it until you get to me. Because even that very, very basic you're doing, even you're taking NuGenesis, you're taking NU with the detox, and you're doing your diet stuff, you're fine. Even if you have cancer, you're fine. Just hang in there until we get to you. There are a lot of people out there who are sick and dying. There are a lot of people out there who are desperately in pain and suffering, and the medication not working for them. So when Aston doesn't call you back immediately, is because Aston is talking to them. I love to play golf, people. There's no sports in life I've ever played like I love to play golf. But ask Jillian the last time I held the golf club in my hand before the winter. Because I'm talking to you, I'm talking to your family members, I'm talking to your friends. We're trying our best to help, as many people as we can.
Yeah. And we're going to be working this year on more ways to have Aston help more people. I think what we've experienced now is Aston becoming Aston NuSpecies Urgent Care. And obviously that's not going to be sustainable for one human. So we're trying to figure out how he can continue to help a large amount of people while maintaining reasonable hours so that he can stay alive. June says, we love you, Aston. And if we love Aston, then we need to give him a life too.
Can I say this to you folks? Let me tell you what I feel like.
Okay.
And I'm saying it with kindness, with great love and kindness. I'm going to say this. Right now, I feel like I am in NuSpecies prison. That's how I feel. Almost every call I get is urgent. Every text I get is urgent. Every WhatsApp I get is urgent. Every person on my calendar that's filled every day is urgent. I am in NuSpecies prison, and I am going to do the very best I can to help all of you. I'm working on some restructuring this year, and in another month or two, we're going to roll it out where we're going to be able to help you even more than we're helping you now, and be more responsive. So yes, again, if I made a recommendation for you for any particular issue, keep taking it. Don't come off it. Don't come off the diet and lifestyle recommendations I've made. Don't come off them until we are able to speak. But I will get to all of you. I will get to all of you.
Right. So Aston, if someone, because a lot of the cases when people report that they don't get results, is because they started off with a big package because they really needed a lot of support. And then they weren't sure if they could afford that package again the next month. And so now they're waiting to hear from you because they need some sort of, reassurance or coaxing to go buy that package again, even though they already know exactly what you recommended and exactly what they should be doing. They're now not continuously taking the products because they're waiting to hear from you. What is something they could do in the meantime to not lose that momentum? And then, they'll end up saying they didn't get results, but a lot of times these folks almost have kidney failure and other kinds of serious issues. There's no way 1 month was going to be the results that they ultimately needed. So what could they buy in the meantime that would be in their budget just to not lose that momentum until they hear from you?
They could get the NuGenesis, the L-Nu, and the anti-inflammatory. Those three people are extraordinarily powerful. I know that it's the L-Nu1, which is basic. It's the NuGenesis, even if it's the 8 ounce. Even if it's the L-Nu1 8 ounce, it's $70 for it. The NuGenesis 8 ounce is $100, and you add in the anti-inflammatory. Stay on those. Those are exceptionally potent. They're very powerful, and they support the body, all around. The anti-inflammatory is having to remove inflammation. The NuGenesis is helping to rebuild the genes and DNA, and the L-Nu is rebuilding the whole body. It's rebuilding the cells, the tissues, the organs. So you stay on those three, and till I get to you, just stay on them. You will still get results from those, even if you have cancer. It doesn't matter what issue you have, you will get results from those, because foundationally, every health issue is based on those three formulas. Every health issue, there are over 18,000 diseases identified in the United States, over 18,000. And they're genetic in nature. Every single one is genetic in nature. Every single one has inflammatory components of that disease structure, because our bodies produce a massive amount of inflammation, our immune system does. So the inflammation is inevitable. It is inevitable. Biologically, scientifically inevitable. And then the L-Nu1 is a rebuilder. It's going to help to rebuild the damaged organs, the damaged tissue, the damaged cells. So those three are absolutely foundational for everybody. And even if you're healthy, those are the three formulas that I now recommend that all of you should be on. And if you want to take a teaspoon and let it and stretch it out, a lady came in yesterday here in Bronxville, and she said, I've been taking your product for over 10 years, and I buy an L-Nu, and it lasts me 3 to 6 months, and I'm healthy. I don't get cold. I don't get sick, and my friends are sick, and I'm healthy. So it's potent. The formulas are potent. So we recommend the dosages for you because of the chronic nature of the issues you have. But you can always take less, but talk to us about, if you decide to take less, talk to us about it. Usually we advise people to take less when they have gotten better, completely better, and they want to stay in it, and they just want to maintain because they don't want the issues to come back.
And also, Aston has been working extremely closely with, we have a small team. So the primary people you're going to hear up front on the phones are Ashley and Crystal. You might reach Mary or me at times on the phones. And then we also have Mary Lou and Matthew jumping in to help. We're a small team of dedicated, motivated, compassionate individuals who are only on this team because we live our lives and we believe in it. Our values are reinforced by doing this work. We want to help you. So if you're trying to reach Aston directly and you're not getting him, please just call the main line and talk to one of our team members. Tell them exactly what it is you want to ask. because maybe Aston can't make enough time on his calendar that day to get on and have a longer discussion with you. But if he knows exactly what you're trying to ask, like, hey, I can't afford to get the products I bought last time. What can I get this time? Here's my budget. He could pass that answer along through to you. So keep in mind that your results are not dependent always on talking to Aston alone. You can leverage the team that we have that's dedicated to helping you in order to get some quick answers. Now, if it's more complex than that, Aston will say, no, sorry, I got to get on the phone with them. I'm going to have to talk to them, in a few days. But in a lot of cases, so many folks put off their results and supporting their health because they think that they just have to talk to Aston and they don't even want to leave a message with our team. Please don't be one of those people. Okay. Just so you know, Derek did say, yes, please, let's talk next week. And Mary grabbed that and we'll make sure he gets on your calendar.
Right. So Derek, I see what's happening. So from your labs. So that was great that you sent the labs. And that's why, if you have labs, you should always send them to me. Gracelyn, same thing for you. I see what's going on with you as well, based on your questions. So we can talk now, or we can talk offline, whatever you decide.
She does want to talk now, but we have a question before her. So
okay.
Jalene is asking about, and I think Jalene's situation is probably more complex than, unless she can go back and forth pretty quickly. I don't think we're going to be able to get a full assessment of her situation. So she's saying that there's some typos. So Jillian, I'm going to try to interpret. Please tell me if I get this wrong. She's having abnormal stools. At first it was tarry, and then it progressed to just water like urine. Her labs indicate celiac, and she does have an endoscopy scheduled. Okay, because the endoscopy is the only way to actually diagnose celiac. So I'm not sure how labs indicate that. Maybe they indicate a gluten sensitivity, but the endoscopy will be necessary to diagnose it. No changes to her stool when she eliminated gluten. So she eliminated it for a few months. Mm-hmm. And she did say she used to take pre and probiotics and kombucha a lot to try to help. I would say maybe stop taking those. But she wants to know if you've heard of anything maybe similar that could cause those kind of bowel movements that isn't celiac.
Yeah, we have hundreds of cases like that, probably thousands over the years. So you should also do a colonoscopy, Jalene. And if you want to get started, and something that will definitely help you in the interim, you're getting your endoscopy, colonoscopy, and any other medical exams you want to pull together, just to alleviate your suffering. You can go on the Detox and the NuGenesis in the meantime. Go on those two, and take them until you can get us your labs.
Okay, so Jalene, Mary will put in the fax number. You can fax or email your labs to support@nuspecies.com. And then if you can just make some notes if you can until you speak to Aston. Maybe do a food journal, what you've been eating, and any other supplements that you've been taking.
Right, and stop any supplements you're taking now. If you feel they're not working, you should stop taking them, because if you're taking supplements that are synthetic or made from chemicals that are made improperly, or have certain preservatives that your liver, you have a digestive issue. Clearly, everything you just stated indicate that you have a chronic digestive issue. It could be related to your liver and your pancreas. So that's why you need to stop taking all those supplements, because if they have synthetic materials or if they have chemicals, they're only going to make your digestive system worse. Because even regular foods you're eating, if you're drinking a green juice, based on what you just said, you're not going to digest a lot of it. So how would your body digest chemicals or synthetic materials? It would not. It would just make the conditions worse. So you should stop taking all supplements that you believe or you can see that are not completely natural until you get to us with your labs. But in the meantime, go on the Detox, go on the Detox package with the NuGenesis. What those are going to do is help to remove. You're also having a bacterial issue in your digestive tract based on the tarriness that you're saying. So the NuGenesis and the Detox system will help to alleviate that until we can find out exactly what's wrong. But either way, you would have taken those anyway as part of whatever we do for you.
Right. And just to keep in mind, we call it a detox, but our detox is not like a colon flush or like it won't cause diarrhea. It's basically just the ground up herbs into a powder. When you mix them into water, they get kind of gelatinous and sticky. And when they go into your intestines, they stick to your intestinal wall. And then as you drink water and you eat throughout the day, it just helps pull off any plastered fecal matter that's lining your intestinal and colon wall. This is only going to happen naturally with your body's processes. Our detox is not going to force your body to do anything. So it might seem counterintuitive that if you think you have diarrhea or a watery stool to take the detox, but it's not. And sometimes, and I just learned this from Dr. Will Bolsowitz. I've read his book and I've spent about 16 hours listening to his interviews, but sometimes watery stools is extreme constipation, because the stool is so packed in your colon that all that can get through is water. So you might think that you're having, you're not constipated, but you might be. So the detox could help with that. And then, yeah, so Mary sent that information for you, Jalene. And if you're missing anything along in the chat, you can always just email support@nuspecies.com and we can give you all the information there. All right, so I got Jalene. Okay, so Pauline asks, let me go back to Pauline. Okay, so Pauline is taking the mineral complex, the calcium liquid, the B vitamins, NuGenesis, and L-Nu1. She takes them all at once, and she believes she's getting heartburn as a result. She wants to know what that is and what she should do.
Right. So the formulas are very potent. So Pauline, what you should do, maybe you should take one. If you're taking them all at the same time, maybe you should space them out by half an hour, an hour. Or we like you to take them on an empty stomach, and that could be part of the issue you have. So maybe you eat a fruit or something. Eat something very light and healthy before you take the formulas to give your stomach a base. Those are two things that you could try for now. And if those don't work, then you may have to take half or a quarter the dosage of each. But the formulas are very potent. They're very highly concentrated. And for some people, they do cause that. So don't worry. You're not sick. You're not dying. It's not going to kill you. We just need to figure out how to adjust the dosages so that your stomach can tolerate it.
Okay, great. Grace says it is okay. And I'm sorry, Pauline, I see your second question about maintaining blood pressure. If you could just provide a little more detail. Do you have low blood pressure and you feel like you need to maintain a higher blood pressure? Do you have high blood pressure? And by maintain, you mean you want to lower it? Or is your blood pressure already good and you just don't want it to ever change? Please give us a little bit more detail so that when we get to your question, we'll know how to answer it. In the meantime, we've got Grace's question regarding her low hemoglobin. She wants to know, what do we have for that?
Right. So, Grace and I have your labs, and I'm looking at your labs, but there's some sensitive stuff in there that I will not discuss openly, even if you ask me to. So, I think we should catch up Monday or Wednesday next week to go over it. But it's nothing life-threatening. So it's something that we can help you to fix quite easily. Okay? But I'm not going to go into the details of your labs because there's some very sensitive stuff in there. Okay. Nothing dangerous, just sensitive, personal.
All right. Yeah. Mary, maybe you can grab Grace and figure out how we can get her on Aston's calendar. Okay. Annie asks, my recent cholesterol is 249 and A1C is 5.7. What is the best plan of action to reduce my levels of? And it looks like Annie, maybe hit send before you finished your sentence, but Aston, is that enough to go off of?
Yeah. Okay. So she can do 249 is pretty high. So you're way into the blood vessels developing plaque, Annie. So you should do the Do the LNU1 and the LNU9 together. Those two you should take. Take one in the morning, one in the evening, along with NuGenesis, and do that for 2 to 3 months and redo your labs. And you can send the labs. Stay on them consistently and redo your labs in 2 to 3 months and send it back to us. Hopefully your cholesterol will be back down to where it should be. But stay on those three. Don't come off them. Stay on them very consistently until you get your labs done. So the LNU1 and the LNU9, you can take the LNU9 in the morning, the LNU1 at night, tablespoon of each, and do the NuGenesis in the morning, take a tablespoon. Those three should do it for you.
Okay. I wrote that down. I think Mary will get it in the chat.
Those also help the A1C as well. The A1C is just a point or two too high, so you're in the pre-diabetic territory, so that will help the A1C as well.
Okay, great. Mary, okay. Mary wants to get it in the chat, so I'll send that information to you, Mary. So Annie, just hold out for us to get those links to you in the chat, okay? So just want to move on to Shawnette. Good morning. I need to get on your calendar. I have a question for my daughter as well. However, I'm presently on my formulas, but she wants to know if any changes are recommended. Okay. So Shawnette, the best thing you can do in the meantime is just stay on the formulas. And yeah, as soon as Aston can talk to you, if you think there changes are needed, he can talk to you about that. Shawnette, do you know our phone number and our email to get onto Aston's calendar? Let us know. Mary will continue to put those links into the chat. All right. May is asking, can the NuGenesis, let me hide this comment. Can the NuGenesis work for inflammation, and how long to see improvement after starting to take it? I know that you have the anti-inflammatory formula, but I'm just asking.
Right. So I need to know what there are different types of inflammation, May. So it all depends. But the NuGenesis is not for inflammation. It is to help to rebuild the genes and the DNA. All the genes in DNA, the nuclear genes, the mitochondrial genes, are the two main type of genes that we humans have in our bodies. So the NuGenesis is designed to rebuild the genes in DNA. Even if it has some minor anti-inflammatory components to it, anti-infection components to it, that's not what it's made for. So it would be good to know what inflammatory condition you're referring to. Is it inflammation in the stomach, in the liver, the kidney, different parts of the body? It's important to know. But yes, anyone who think they have inflammation that they want to help the body to purge, they should do the anti-inflammatory along with the NuGenesis. The NuGenesis is now part of all the recommendations that we're making because it is foundational for genes and DNA. And just for those who don't know, it's a formula that I started inventing over 20 years ago and finally just figured it out a few years ago. And it's now, on the FDA approved list in terms of the ingredients since summer or so. So that's what it's for. And if all of you should be on it. I haven't said it in a few weeks. I want all NuSpecians on NuGenesis. All. Every single one of you, even your children 6 years and over, I want you all to be taking NuGenesis. All of you. Especially if you have cancer, past cancer, prostate issues. Ladies, if you have issues with fibroids or ovarian cysts or dense breast cancer, thyroid issue, get your butts on NuGenesis. All of you.
And we can't say this enough, but just a reminder, when Aston lists health conditions and then tells you the products he'd like you to be on, it's not because our formulas are treatments for any disease. Legally, we cannot say that, but also ethically and scientifically, we wouldn't say that because that's not the truth of what they are for. Our formulas are the tools that your body needs to fix itself and to repair itself over time. And so you may be, oh, we lost Aston. He'll come back. And so you may, let's see, devices. You need to connect their mic or cam if we can add them to stream. Okay. Let me text Aston to see if maybe his AirPods died or something. Sorry, folks. Give us 1 second. Aston might have had a little technical issue over there. I've never seen this warning before. I'm talking to Mary. She's off camera. So sorry. I'm not talking to myself. Okay, but yes, I just like to remind everyone that because if you're thinking of our products as a treatment, so as like a direct treatment for your disease, you're going to have the wrong expectations about the kind of results you should be looking for. So every disease is some constellation of symptoms, and however the scientific community decides, they say, okay, these symptoms equal this disease, and then we're going to give you medications that are treating the symptom. They're not healing the disease, right? So when you add in our formulas or NuSpecies nutritional products or herbal formulas to your healthcare routine, you are now targeting a different goal than your medication is. Your medication, like Aston said, is mercy. It's helping with your suffering. It's buying you time. When medication is working, it's not time to be like, great, did my job, sitting back and relaxing. No, now you've just bought time to go fix the root cause of the problem. So when Aston is talking about taking these formulas for these health issues, he's not talking about a treatment for the health issues. He's saying this is the nutrition your body needs to rebuild itself, all while medication is doing its part of helping you function on a daily basis. All right, let me see if we can get Aston back in there. Maybe his laptop died or internet went out. Yeah, I don't know, because he was trying to rejoin, and we got to get Aston back here, folks. Let me quickly just... He keeps trying to rejoin, so his laptop must be on, but for some reason it's saying his devices are not connected. So here's a little tech lesson for all of you. So sorry. How can I help him? Okay, Mary's going to call. Thank you. All right, Mary's going to call Aston and try to figure out what's happening to him. Okay. So I see, let's see. May, you wrote arthritis. What did you mean by that? So I can help you out there. Oh, that's the kind of inflammation you were referring to. Okay. And then NuGenesis would be appropriate for sure, because arthritis is decay of your tissues. And if NuGenesis is helping your body at a genetic level repair, that is the basis of repairing tissues in your body. So definitely would want to add that in. I don't think if you've already been recommended anti-inflammatory, it's not going to replace it, but it's going to add another very powerful level of support for your body. All right, and then I've got Stephen. What's the best approach to help kidney disease? Okay, great question. When we get him back, he can answer that, Stephen. All right, exactly, May. So talk to Crystal, the nurse, and get back on Aston's calendar. And then Annie's asking, can you just repeat the recommended formulas and when to take? Absolutely. So Mary put the links in if you just scroll above, but it's L-Nu9 in the morning, a tablespoon. They're all going to be a tablespoon, so you don't have to worry about that. L-Nu9 in the morning, L-Nu1 in the evening, and NuGenesis in the morning. So L-Nu9 and NuGenesis in the morning, a tablespoon each, L-Nu1 in the evening. Yeah, we've got Aston back.
Okay.
Hi. L-Nu1 in the evening,
Thank you, Mary.
a tablespoon. And also, Annie, we can always email that to you as well. So if you want to just email support@NuSpecies.com and remind us that you were on the Q&A and you had that question. Aston, you okay over there?
Internet.
Okay. So Annie, you can always email. We can send you a PDF with everything outlined for you. Okay. We're getting to the end. I think we have time. Okay, good. Great, Annie. Stephen has a question. I think Stephen will be our last question. If I've missed anyone else, please yell at me. Aston, while you were away, May confirmed it was arthritis. That was the inflammation. So I just confirmed that NuGenesis is even more appropriate in that case and should be added on to whatever she's taking. It doesn't replace. Okay, so we can get to Stephen's question. What's the best approach to help kidney disease? But I want to just plug before anyone logs off, and I know all of you always stay with us to the very last minute, which we are so flattered by, is I want to talk about people who need more labs that their doctors are saying is their insurance is not going to cover, so they can't get them ordered as soon as Aston would like. I'd like to let you know we have a solution for that. And then also I want to talk about our Brooklyn location that is officially ready to go. So we will get to that at the end of the show. But first, let's answer our last question. I'm just going to check in on Instagram. Oh, okay. Sorry. We have another question as well on Instagram. I always miss Micey. She's always asking questions over there. This is an easy one. I notice when I take my formulas in the morning, it raises my blood sugar. So she wants to understand that. Very fast answer. Even if you drink water, it's going to increase your blood sugar. So that's not an issue.
Answer.
Whenever you eat or consume anything, your blood sugar is going to go up. That's normal. How that plays into the overall situation, I don't know if you have diabetes or high blood sugar, but there's always going to be ups and downs with your blood sugar. Healing from diabetes means getting your blood sugar to not go too high and not stay too high chronically. And that's like a different trajectory than your normal ups and downs that everybody has. Aston, do you want to add anything to that before we get to kidneys?
Not much. I think what you said is quite accurate. So just so everyone knows, whatever we eat, the body converts a lot of it into glucose. It's just the way the body works. If we don't have enough glucose, we just drop and we die. Our bodies can't function without glucose because glucose is like, it's not like, it is the energy our bodies create to allow us to move around, to walk, do whatever we do. It's glucose. So it's inevitable. If you drink water, the glucose is going to go up.
Okay. So Annie was asking if are still at the Elmont location. So if Annie's asking, is NuSpecies still there? Mary has given the time and the address. Yes, we are. If you were asking if Aston is still there, he currently has been covering Bronxville until we hire someone. So he has not been present in Elmont, but we're hoping that's going to change soon. All right. So let's wrap up with Stephen's question. What is the best approach to help kidney disease?
So it depends. There are many different types of kidney disease. So we need to know what type of kidney disease it is. Is it caused from blood pressure or diabetes? We need to know. Is it complete kidney failure? We need to know. We need to know what the eGFR is, how low it is, or how high the creatinine is. All of those are factors that have to be considered with making a recommendation for the kidney issue that someone has. So get your labs together and send them in and have a consultation, because for me to just say you should take, the two formulas we normally use for kidneys, the gut formula 2, along with taking a Fire Focus every day, that's what we've used to help probably 90-95% of all the kidney issues. We still need to know exactly whether your kidneys are caused, the issues are caused from blood pressure or diabetes or infections, or it's just genetic. We need to know, because based on that kind of information that we have in our hands, we can make a better decision as to how you should invest in your health.
Right. So I guess, Stephen, the summary there is the best approach is to first know the root cause, so that again, if we're thinking about our health issues from the medical perspective, we're thinking about symptoms. What are the symptoms you're experiencing? Here's a treatment for symptoms. When we're thinking about the NuSpecies perspective, and most people are often doing both at the same time, right? NuSpecies is not an alternative. It is inevitable. It should be part of your life all the time. Just whatever you're doing with NuSpecies will continue to change based on what's happening with your health. So when you're thinking from a NuSpecies perspective, we need to understand what's actually causing the symptoms. What is the root cause? And then we can more appropriately give the body the tool that it needs, right? Sometimes when you're building something, you need a nail. Sometimes you need a screw, and sometimes you need to add some wood glue. So to make something connect, it's not always the same solution depending on what the end goal is, right? And it's the same thing when we're using nutrition to help our body rebuild. Stephen did quickly say it's from blood pressure.
Okay, so, and is it complete kidney? Is it stage 5, stage 4, stage 3? You can, if it's stage 3 or so, or 4, then I could give you a solution on our Q&A now. So you can just let me know if it's stage 5, stage 4, stage 3. Stage 5 would be almost complete kidney failure. Your eGFR is 10, 15, 20. Your creatinine is maybe 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. And if it's stage 3, it would be your eGFR would be above 30 or 35. So it would be between 30 and 60, and your creatinine would be like between 1.5 and 2, something like that. So different labs have different algorithm they use to determine these stages of kidney failure. But if your eGFR is above 30, you can start taking the God Formula 2 and take a fiery focus, the raw energy, take a bottle every day. The God Formula 2 with the fiery focus every day. If the eGFR is above 30, if it's below that, we need to talk. Because if it's below that, you're en route to dialysis. So we need to talk to make sure you're on the right program to assist you from not getting to dialysis if it's possible.
Right. And Stephen, these formulas are not cheap when it comes to this particular issue. I just got the notification that Instagram disconnected. So this week, for whatever reason, it limited us to an hour. Last week, it did not. So I didn't get to warn anybody. I apologize. Those on Instagram, hopefully they can make it over to YouTube. All right. So Stephen, when it comes to this particular serious health issue, the formulas recommended are not cheap. So that's why Aston doesn't take it lightly when he says that you may or may not need to get those products. So if you might end up needing to call to just check in on those levels and see what you need to do. Having said that, though, the God formulas are still on discount because, like we said, we've been trying to. Oh, okay. He said he's not sure because he's asking this question for his mom. He'll get more info. Okay, great, Stephen. Okay. So just so you know, in case she does need the God formula, the 2-ounce size is 20% off right now. The 8-ounce size is 26% off. And the reason is because if you buy the 8-ounce size, that discount is like getting a 2-ounce for free. So if you know that she's going to need to be on this product for several months, the 8-ounce is really, in the long term, the budget-friendly way to go for a product that is expensive. We will say that. But if it's necessary, it's cheap because of the results that you can rely on. All right. So that's going to be our last question. I want to give you these two cool announcements. So Aston has been working with an NP that she's worked at NuSpecies before. She's been a NuSpecies client. She's a huge NuSpecian, and she's been helping some of our clients who need more regular labs than their doctors will order. She's been helping them get these labs ordered that they needed. It is an out-of-pocket fee. And depending on the lab, it might be a reasonable fee and it might be more, but if it's information you need, she can help you get it. So you can talk to Aston. He'll recommend her specifically if he thinks you need that. So it's not something you have to know, but we just want you to be aware that we have that option. So if you've already tried to get additional labs from your doctor and you can't, don't despair. Aston can help you out there if he thinks it's necessary. And then Brooklyn. So we now officially have a new Brooklyn location. It is not a retail storefront. It is an office, but it is in Marine Park. We're still working out the hours. It's likely going to be by appointment only. So we'll post the dates when Aston will be there, and we will want you to actually make appointments to let us know you're coming. Otherwise, the 2-hour drive won't be worth it. But the space is ready, and all we need to do is go down and bring the product, set up a computer, decorate a little or something. That's it. It's ready to go though. So we are ready to be back in business in Brooklyn. So if you know anyone who has been very frustrated with not having a NuSpecies in Brooklyn, please let them know that is now resolved, and we will be sending out an email and a text with all the necessary information probably within another week or two.
And for location, it is about a mile or so from Kings Plaza. it's very close to King's Plaza, folks. So
Right.
don't despair. It's like a couple miles from or so from Canarsie, where we used to be, and it's it's in a better neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood. You can feel safe going there, and that's part of the reason
With
why it took so
parking.
long. Yeah. So
Unless there's a funeral, which is rare, but if there's a funeral, then we found it hard to get parking. But otherwise, there's like always spots on the street.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a funeral parlor just up the road from there. So that's what Jillian is mentioning, that if they have like a funeral on a Sunday, usually Sundays it's a mixed neighborhood, a lot of Jews and Russians and African Americans and Asians, and everybody live there. So it's one of those areas, and it's a very nice area. I think you all will like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we believe it's even if it's a same travel you used to make to Canarsie, it's just in the opposite direction. And like we said, it's only like 1.5 miles from King's Plaza, so it's reasonable if you're out doing your errands for the day to pop on over to NuSpecies. So we're really excited about it, and we know that all of you will be. So please help us spread the word about Brooklyn NuSpecies being back on operation in Brooklyn. All right, Pauline, we do see your question. Yes.
And we're hiring for Brooklyn as well. So if you know anyone who's looking for a part-time position, we are hiring for that location as well. So NuSpecians, we're going to rely on you to help us. It's not easy to find people to work. And that's part of the reason why I'm hanging out here in Bronxville for so long, since August or so. So if you know someone in Brooklyn who wants a part-time job, they can submit their resume.
Right. But if they're not the kind of person that you would hope to answer the phone when you call NuSpecies, please don't recommend them to us. They should actually be interested in herbs and health, and ideally have taken our products before and believe in them. Otherwise, they can't serve you properly. So that's another reason why it's hard for us to find people, because they do have to be aligned with our values and what we offer to be the best advocate for you when you call or come in. All right. So Pauline, we have to get to your question next week. I do apologize, my dear. We have gone over an hour now, so we're going to have to drop off because Bronxville is now open and Aston is inevitably going to be interrupted quite soon. Plus he has calendar calls to make. So we are sorry about that. But please come back with that question next week. And I'm going to take a little screenshot to also remember to get to it if you don't remember to ask it again. All right, that's what we have for you today. Thank you so much. These are all really excellent questions, and this was a wonderful conversation. And we're so excited about 2025. It's going to be a year, a lot of change for NuSpecies and change in the direction all of you have been pushing us for in the past. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to be really proud of us and very excited to engage with us this year, if you weren't already.
And we expect you to become, which you all are, apostles of NuSpecies, missionaries of NuSpecies. We want you to help us help as many people as possible, especially your friends and family, but coworkers as well, and anybody else, strangers. They're God's people. So let's make this year the year of the NuSpecies culture being launched to help as many people as possible. All right?
And you can start by subscribing to our YouTube channel, where you are likely right now. If you're on Facebook, you can like us there, leave us a review there. Go to Google and leave us a review. Those are all ways that you can get started with supporting the spreading of the word about NuSpecies and how others can get help, because certainly it is more powerful coming from you than it is from us. Mm-hmm. So please just start by subscribing to our channel before you leave today. We really, really appreciate it. All right, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next Saturday.
All right. Bye-bye.